And good afternoon, race fans. Good evening, I should say. Welcome here to race number 17 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series, as we're getting ready here tonight for the Banquet 400 at Kansas Speedway. Getting ready for 51 laps of racing here this evening. Correction, 54 laps of racing, I should say. Those extra 3 laps could be very important, as we're getting set here right around the midway point of the portion of the season I like to call the chase towards the chase for the championship. We're going to have quite a few short tracks coming up between now and our next mile-and-a-half track, so drivers that are really good at the mile-and-a-halves might want to strike while the iron is hot, and a lot of drivers have definitely done that here this season. We have had, so far this year, I think we've actually hit a record, 5 multi-time winning drivers. 5 drivers this season already, only 16 races in, have gone to victory lane twice, including Mitchell Collins, Jesse Turner, Cole Deaver, T Wright, and last week's winner from Dover, A Garcia. So 5 drivers right now are tied for the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and we've only had 1 driver win 4 races in a single season. That, of course, was J Millz back in Season 2. I think we could very well either match or surpass that with the number of drivers we've had go to victory lane twice this season so early on. We've got former winners lined up on the front row for this one. Charles Belding, who won the road course at Pucaca earlier on this season, lines up alongside of Daytona 500 winner T Wright. Then you've got drivers behind them, though, that are still looking for their first trip to victory lane. You got to go quite a ways back before you find our next winner. You got Levi McIntire and Michael Norman lined up in row 2. Cody Llamas and Benny Watson in row 3. J Millz and N Ormond in row 4. Johnny Gardner in the inside of row 5. Then you find a former winner in R Brommer lined up completing the top 10. But who knows? We could see stranger things happen here today. We've got some interesting statistics as well about this track that we're going to get to in just a moment, but we're going down check side now to get those most famous words in motorsports.
Start your engines.
Pace car is going to lead the 42 car field off of pit road, and we'll get ready to turn them loose. Check down the description below for the full starting lineup for today's race. It's the same situation as it's been for the last 3 or 4 weeks. All the drivers that have wins this season running very well in the point standings. The lowest in points with a victory is R Brommer. He's 22nd in points, and he currently has nearly a 50-point gap between himself and 30th in the standings. The only driver that's outside of the top 30 in points with a victory is, of course, Chris Darlington, who failed to make it into tonight's event. Mentioned this in the non-charter race. If you didn't tune into that, Kansas has been very democratic into the manufacturers it is allowed to win here in the last 3 seasons. Ford got the very first one with Mitchell Collins, a 2-time winner this season, by the way. He won to victory lane Season 1, the debut season. Season 2, it was a Dodge with Zach Rogers, and last season it was a Chevrolet with Austin LaPlante. And don't forget, Northeast Motorsports already has a victory here tonight with R Xavier winning the non-charter race. So Toyota's the only manufacturer not to win. We'll see if they can get it here tonight. Green flags in the air. Let's roll at Kansas. Ooh, Charles Belding right out of the gate looked to throw the block on Levi McIntire, and Levi was having none of it. McIntire right now on a 1-season-plus winless streak, dating all the way back to last year's Coca-Cola 600. As they were 3 wide back there for the 5th position, Cody Llamas, J Millz. They're going to work their way into 2nd and 3rd. Oh, T Wright! Into the wall, into Benny Watson, and several others pile in. Cole Baker, Jesse Turner, M Haas. Caution's going to come out for the first time here today, and I saw that happen all the way back when it first began. T Wright got up into the wall, going into turn 1, bounced back down into traffic, and the caution's going to come out for the first time here tonight on lap number 2. And just like that, we got some torn up race cars. Levi McIntire is going to be the race leader, but it was his teammate that had the problems, and Benny Watson In the 75 machine, the bad luck continues for the Otter Island Motorsports single car entry. He's coming down pit road. There is Cole Baker. Two-time winner Jesse Turner. Matt Haas in the 8 as well, who had a great outing last week at Dover. Moved up to 20th in the standings as a result, and that's a lot of damage on every single one of these race cars. That could be 5 drivers out of this race already. Let's go back and see what happened, get a more in-depth look of what happened going into turn 1 for our first caution of the day. See if we can figure out what happens here. It looked like, to me, T Wright just ran too high up the track, and that's exactly what happened. Did not judge where the safer barrier was. Comes down into N Ormond, then down into J Thibodeaux. Then his car snaps around, and Benny Watson's just committed to the outside. There's nowhere he can go. Cole Baker almost got through it. Patrick Smith came up into Matt Haas. He sends him and Jesse Turner up into Cole Baker. That explains why the 77 was down pit road when pit road was open, because he would have gotten some right side damage from that. And let's take another look there at that follow-up wreck there with Matt Haas and Jesse Turner. Wreck's already happening. Watch the 77 down there on the inside line. Oh, he got loose, did Patrick Smith. And the back end slid up the track on him into Matt Haas and Jesse Turner. So he really didn't turn back up the track. He was trying to control his race car down that slick apron with those fresh tires and just couldn't handle it. Boy, that's a tough break there for some of these guys. Jesse Turner and T Wright, of course, trying to become the first 3-time winner on the season, whereas Matt Haas, Benny Watson, and Cole Baker all just trying to get their first win of the season. Well, I talked about the fact that Toyota was trying to get themselves into victory lane for the first time here at Kansas. That's 3 Camrys that were collected up in that one for our first caution of the day. When we ended up coming back here, I noticed that the 91 of Charles Belding came down pit road on the second lap of caution. So an unscheduled stop, I would have to assume, for our pole sitter. He is back on the track right now in the 39th position, but a little concerned about why he would have had to come down pit road. He was running the apron for most of that second lap before eventually coming down to the attention of his crew. Levi McIntyre and teammate Jose Millz will get us back underway with J Gardner in 3rd, 4th Cody Llamas, 5th Matthew Rodriguez. Then it's last week's winner Adam Garcia in 6th, 7th Michael Norman, N Ormond in 8th, 9th Ryan Brommer, and Austin LaPlante, the defending winner of this race, will line up in the 10th position. We do have 2 drivers out of the race. That's going to be Matt Haas and Benny Watson. They will finish 41st and 42nd here tonight, as the green flag set to come back out on lap 7 of 54. Earlier on tonight in the non-charter race, we ended up having 1 early caution and then went green flag racing to the end. Let's see if we're going to have something similar now here with the main event race. Also got to document that nobody else besides Belding came down pit road as far as our race leaders, as Adam Garcia takes it 3 wide, and they will have to make a pit stop before the conclusion of this race. Nearly a wreck right there off of turn 4 as J Gardner and Michael Norman nearly made contact. Defending champion Jordan Lopez works his way down to the inside. Whoa! What happened to Matthew Rodriguez? He bailed out of the throttle big time there in 1 and 2. Might have not found the grip he was looking for, and that was a close call for the 57 and everybody else behind him. Fortunately, no wreck. Looking at the inaugural winner at this track, Mitchell Collins. Jordan Lopez trying to defend his championship. He's had a very consistent year, 7th in points, but he needs a win to make sure he's going to get into the playoffs. And there's the defending winner of this race, Austin LaPlante, right now, holding down the 7th position. Levi McIntyre fading back as he got kicked to the outside line. Michael Norman's going to go around him. Ryan Brommer as well. So Levi McIntyre goes from the race lead all the way back to 6th in the matter of a few corners. That puts Jose Millz to the point. All blue ovals inside of the top 3. Actually, the top 4 if you include Michael Norman. who's trying to hold off R Brommer for that 4th spot. A Garcia feeling the momentum after getting his 2nd career win last week at Dover. Got his 1st career win at Michigan earlier on this season. And now we look at the inside of Cody Llamas, looking to be a 3-time winner, is the driver out of Young Motorsports. As wow, it looks like there's absolutely no grip in that outside line right now. It's the 2nd driver that's really bailed out of the throttle, Cody Llamas being the driver this time. He's going to at least tuck in line in front of R Brommer. Drops from 2nd back to 4th. J Millz in that 98. You want to talk about a driver with momentum, even though he hasn't won. Had a top 5 run at the Indianapolis road course a couple of weeks ago. Ran well at Dover last week also. Has now jumped up into the top 10 in points, 9th in the standings, but still looking for a victory. J Millz, the most winless driver in the Duracell Cup Series, but still a 0 in the win column so far this year. It's Michael Norman Motorsports. They're starting to make some noise here. Michael Norman up to 3rd. Now he's under fire from teammate Cody Llamas. Right now, it looks like all 3 of our former winners here are running really well. We followed Austin LaPlante and Mitchell Collins. There's the other one, Zach Rogers in the 6th. Battling with N Ormond right now for what appears to be the 7th position. Ormond will take it. Rogers drops back to 8th into the clutches of the Lays Chevrolet of V Almariego out of Northwestern Motorsports. Drop a little bit further back here. Matthew Rodriguez, after that scary moment, he's recovered to currently sit in 14th place. And there's his teammate, Carson Gum, in the 19. Carson Gum's another driver that's been very consistent the last couple of weeks. 6th in the point standings. And a lot of these drivers I've been talking to prior to these races, one of them, Carson Gum, says, we've got part of the situation fixed where we're consistent, but consistency isn't going to get you into the playoffs. You got to win. And I think as we get closer to the end of the year, wow, Cody Llamas, you see the back end of the car step out right there as he tried to avoid running over J Millz. I think we start getting close to the end of the regular season, you're going to see desperation start to kick in. I think you're going to see the aggressiveness kick up early on in these races rather than drivers biding their time waiting for the end of the race. And I think you're going to see these drivers realizing, hey, I got to start winning. Now, the good news for a lot of these drivers is the fact we've had so many multi-time winners. With Garcia, Collins, Turner, Deaver, and T Wright all having 2 wins. That means that we've only had, I believe, 12 different winners in the first 16 races. So there's still 4 spots open for drivers to point their way in. But there's no doubt in my mind that, including here tonight in the 10 races remaining, that we are going to end up having at least 4 more different winners. And I think we're going to continue to have the same situation that we've had season after season, where there are going to be drivers that find victory lane this year that are not going to make it into the playoffs. R Brommer had to bail out of the throttle, battling with N Ormond. That now brings Jordan Lopez and V Almariego into what's going to be a battle for the 5th position. Cody Llamas took a look there on J Millz, couldn't do anything. Michael Norman took advantage. He's now to 2nd and now tries to run a half groove lower out of turn 2. Got a nice run, did Michael Norman. And he'll take the look to the inside into turn 3. Michael Norman this season is a driver we haven't really talked a whole lot about. Main reason for that is he's only finished up inside the top 5 2 times this season, 5 top 10s, 25th in the points. So a win could certainly skyrocket his chances of making it into the playoffs and kind of spur his season on as well after what's kind of been a rather sluggish start. N Ormond now moving into 2nd place. Keep an eye on that Dodge. N Ormond's been fast, working his way up through the field. He's also had some really good runs in the last couple of weeks. N Ormond's 11th in points. And now he's got J Millz to his inside. Cody Llamas right there as well. If these 4 continue to battle, it might bring in the defending champion Jordan Lopez into the conversation potentially to battle for the race lead, as we are 3 wide further back here. We were. A Garcia thought about it with Carson Gum and Levi McIntyre, but then he backed out of it. Let's find out about some of our non-charter drivers, if they've been able to work their way up through the field, and yeah, there they are. It's at 17th place, I believe, Justin Dearborn. Make that 16th. And then 17th and 18th is where you find a couple of others, Michael Rood and Adam Samsel. So the non-charter drivers done a good job of cutting their way through traffic. Carter Friesen now gets a run on Michael Rood. He'll try and take a position away. I also failed to mention, and I probably should have pre-race, that we had a new points leader after Dover. And you're looking at him, Adam Garcia. But how about Young Motorsports? 1, 2, 3 in points. Garcia first, Dylan Young second, and Mitchell Collins third. 9 points separate those three teammates in the standings. There's Mitchell Collins getting around Vince Almariego, and we saw just moments ago Dylan Young, who I believe is right now running in the 20th position, trying to work his way back up here. Dylan Young losing the points lead last week. The only Young Motorsports driver that has not won yet this season is RJ Bishop. He nearly did, finishing second to Adam Garcia back at Michigan. Right now, 5 wins total amongst 3 Young Motorsports drivers. I mean, that is incredible that a team has been able to do what they have done so far this year. No contenders at the moment up inside of the top 5, though, for that team, as right now it's Michael Norman Motorsports, first and second, with Michael Norman and Cody Llamas. Nathan Ormond trying to break them up. He'll jump to the inside of the 84. Cody having to bail out of the throttle there, and that brings J Millz to the inside. One of these drivers going to have to think about pitting is another question. Target lap for these drivers right now would have to be somewhere in the vicinity of laps 27 to 30. They, of course, were able to save some fuel under that early cautions pacing laps. But if they can at least make it to halfway, then I think they'd be pretty safe to be able to make it the rest of the way, as we've got traffic for these race leaders to have to deal with. Cole Baker in the 11 and Jesse Turner in the 47. We didn't have a long enough race earlier on tonight for the non-charter event for damaged cars to play a factor, but I think we're about to have it here. As Nathan Ormond, man, that was close. Talk about knowing your race car. I thought he was going to hook Michael Norman, but he tucked right in line behind him. And now let's see what Michael Norman's going to be able to do with this slower traffic. Cole Baker going to hold the inside line. Michael Norman's not going to be too thrilled about that. He'll finally get to the inside here down the back straightaway. Now Jesse Turner to have to deal with, a fellow blue oval. We'll see if Jesse Turner cuts him some slack. And no, Turner's going to run the inside line as well. Now jumps up to the outside line, getting out of the way. Tail end of the field is just now coming out of turn 4. Battle for the lead is going into turns 1 and 2, so it doesn't look like anybody else will be a factor here. But Michael Norman almost got hooked off the nose of J Millz right there. That stacks up J Millz, opens the door for Cody Llamas, look to the inside. Now Nathan Ormond's coming to pit road. Right on the halfway mark is Nathan Ormond coming to pit lane, so interesting call here. Another Dodge coming down pit road as well. Ryan Brommer and Carter Friesen. Phil Parker's in. Jack Mitchell also coming to pit road this lap. Jacob Thibodeaux and T Wright. Wow, I don't know, folks. If they were saving fuel under caution and they can only make it to halfway, this could be a fuel strategy race at the end. And now everybody's coming to pit road this time. Oh, we had some contact there. J Millz got into the back of his teammate Jordan Lopez, and I don't know if that gave the 38 back-end damage or not. Certainly gave the 98 some front-end damage. That's not good for either one of those two. Jessica Shelton stayed out, as did J Qualls, K Mathews, Mitchell Collins, Adam Samsel, Vince Almariego, and our pole sitter Charles Belding. These are the drivers right here that I would look at to possibly be the ones that can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Belding's going to stay out an extra lap. Everybody else that stayed out that extra time, though, they're coming down. So Belding could be in the catbird seat here right now in that 91 machine, provided he doesn't run out of fuel this lap. Still sounds like he's under power. Sounds good. Oh, wow, you heard him bail out of the throttle there going into turn 3, and now he'll probably be heading pit road this time. Should be coming down a rather less congested pit road as well, so I like this strategy on the 91. Belding trying to become the second Chevrolet driver to be a multi-time winner this season. So far, 4 of the 5 multi-time winners are Ford drivers. The only Chevrolet driver that has 2 wins this season is Cole Deaver. And Belding going to have that number 1 pit stall after starting on the pole position. We'll see if this is going to be a possible race-winning strategy if we manage to go green to the end. See if we can find where the potential battle for the race lead would be taking place, and we got to find, there we go, 38, 84, 18. These were drivers that were up inside the top 5 when the pit stops began. Looks like the contact between Jordan Lopez and J Millz didn't really affect the 38 car. Looks like he is still all right. Where's the 45, Nathan Ormond? There he is. That, I believe, would be the race leader when things cycle around. We're also scoring Mitchell Collins as staying out an extra lap with Charles Belding. So the 91 and the 22, I think it's definite that they can make it on fuel. Everybody else, it's going to be close. They could be anywhere from 1 to 1.5 laps short. So they may have to do some saving here under this potentially long green flag run to the end. Not quite yet, 20 laps to go. Nathan Ormond showing the way. Nathan Ormond got his first win as a rookie last season at Bristol. Followed it up with another victory, if I recall correctly. I think he was a 2-time winner last year for Joanna Atwood Motorsports. A team which so far this season does not have a victory with Ormond, Qualls, Acosta, or Gardner. And Dodge itself only has 1 victory with R Brommer. Granted, they don't really have the numbers this year either. I believe there's only 6 Dodges in the field that are chartered rides, 2 out of Bulldog Motorsports, and then the 4 out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Gap is closing up, though. Draft is coming into play. Cody Llamas and Jordan Lopez lined up nose to tail have cut down Nathan Ormond's advantage. How about the 37 of Carter Friesen? We haven't talked about him all day, and all of a sudden, after some pit strategy, he's been able to work his way up into the 4th position. Now, Carter Friesen is one of those drivers that you have to keep an eye on because last season, Carter Friesen had 3 victories, I believe it was, no, 2 victories during the playoffs. He had a win during the round of 16 to advance to the round of 12, and then he had a win during the round of 12 to advance into the round of 8. He's not able to win the championship, though. Carter Friesen, of course, was the runner-up to the championship back in Season 1. I believe it was when Chris Dollerton won that championship. And Friesen comes into this race. Oh, I think caution might be out. I think I just saw the lights on pit road. Are we under yellow? No, I guess not. I thought I saw the red lights on pit road, but no, we are still green as Jordan Lopez takes the race lead. Going back to Carter Friesen and his situation in the point standings. Right now, Carter finds himself in the 36th position in points. He was 33rd in points going into Dover, but now he is 36th, which is the lowest in points that a chartered driver can be. So even if he doesn't win, this is a very important run for that driver as he almost got into Cody Llamas there in what's going to be a battle right now for 3rd place. Michael Norman right now is in 5th. 6th is going to be Adam Garcia. How about non-charter driver Justin Dearborn? His team owner's right behind him. Got to be smiling from ear to ear. J Millz right now in 8th. 9th place R Brommer and his teammate Zach Rogers currently holding down the 10th spot. 11th is Adam Samsel. 12th is Matthew Rodriguez. Keep an eye on this 91 because I think he could be the one, if this thing goes green to the end, that could snipe this victory. Right now he is in 13th. Phil Parker's in 14th with Carson Gum 15th. All 3 of the Pigeon Racing cars running inside the top 15. V Almariego 16th, Jack Mitchell 17th. 18th is Dylan Young, the former points leader. 19th, Jacob Thibodeaux, and 20th is Michael Rood. Ryan Butcher's in 21st. Mitchell Collins all the way back here in 22nd. 23rd, James Qualls. 24th is Laura Chung. 25th, Johnny Gardner. 26th, Jessica Shelton. 27th is Ryan Acosta. William Brock in 28th. 29th, Tristan Allen. 30th is Keith Batson. Then you come back here, and these were drivers that I guess really struggled on pit road. L McIntire is back in 31st. K Mathews 32nd. 33rd is Under contest, give it to Austin LaPlante, dropping R Xavier back to 34th. 35th, Charles Sandfer. 36th, Patrick Smith. 37th is T Wright, who at this point has managed to stay on the lead lap. And Cole Deaver is all the way back here in 38th place. Looks like he may have some damage on the left front of his GM Goodwrench Service Chevrolet. Couple of laps down cars. Jesse Turner right now in 39th and Cole Baker right now in 40th. Two drivers out of the race if you're just joining us after a wreck in turn 1. And it was Matt Haas and Benny Watson, 41st and 42nd. They're the only DNFs so far in this race. Oh, N Ormond wanted to go to the outside, catching up here to Cole Baker, and it's going to cost him. Baker now moves up out of the way into the second groove. That allows Jordan Lopez to go back to the point. Cody Llamas into second. Cody Llamas in points. Currently 24th in the standings. Every finish he's had in the top 10 has been in the top 5 this season, a total of 3 times. Trying to reel in the 38 of Jordan Lopez. If Jordan Lopez were to go to victory lane, it would be the 3rd win of the season for Blue Oval Automotive. T Wright, the only driver for the team so far that has victories. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to see Adam Garcia, last week's winner, 2-time winner on the season, creep up here. We got around Michael Norman for 5th. And now he is on the back bumper of N Ormond, so your top 5 all nose to tail. Michael Norman now under fire. As J Millz got around him now for 6th, and now it's Justin Dearborn looking for 7th place. See if these 3 Fords can work together to catch back up to that group up ahead of them, make it a 8-car pack. Michael could be saving, though, too. Let's not forget that. If you see some of these drivers where their pace is backing off just a bit, they might be saving fuel. This is probably the most competitive I've seen both of the Bulldog Racing Dodges this season. Either one does well and one struggles, or vice versa, or they both struggle. Right now, R Brommer and Zach Rogers in 9th and 10th. And remember that Zach Rogers is a former winner here from Season 2. Michael Norman got the wall. I saw him there in Turn 1. That's going to lose him more momentum and maybe more positions. As Zach Rogers with a big run, going to try and look underneath his teammate. Not going to quite be able to get there. Adam Samsel under fire from V Almariego and Carson Gum. And I want to keep tabs on where that 91 is at. Right now he's in the 15th position trying to hold off Phil Parker, because if all these drivers can't make it, it's a question of how close Charles Belding is to be able to capitalize if they come to pit road or if they run out of fuel. And I think he's within striking distance that if we even had race leader come to pit road off turn 4 in the final lap, that Belding would beat them back to the start-finish line. Belding and Mitchell Collins stayed out the longest on this green flag run. Zach Rogers now going to move up to the 8th position, getting around both Michael Norman and teammate R Brommer. Battle up here for the 2nd position. Adam Garcia is going to take the spot from Carter Friesen. N Ormond just got around Cody Llamas for 4th place. So it's going to be pins and needles when we get down to about 4 laps to go, because then we're going to have to see if anyone ducks onto pit road. N Ormond was the first one to start the cycle of pit stops. So the 45 is going to be the one we're going to have to kind of judge everything off of just how close these drivers are on being able to make it if they can. Battle continues to be for 2nd place, and Jordan Lopez, I don't think he minds that. The only thing I'm wondering about that 38 now is he's not having the benefit of getting the draft off anybody, so he's using quite a bit of fuel out there. So if he was close, I don't know how he can be doing any saving out in that clean air. 2nd through 5th, all nose to tail, Dodge, Chevy, Ford. It's Cody Llamas looking to the inside of Carter Friesen. Had to check up a bit there, and that's going to allow Adam Garcia to get a run on him on the front straightaway. 5 laps to go here at Kansas. Things starting to get a little bit interesting. Who's got the fuel to make it? Do they all have the fuel to make it? If they do, then who's going to be able to get up here and make the move on Jordan Lopes? The defending champ wants to defend his title, and he's been consistent enough this year that a trip to victory lane here tonight would more than likely secure him a playoff spot. He's going to have to deal with some slow traffic. 47 of Jesse Turner up ahead. This could make things interesting in the battle for the lead as Nathan Ormond starting to reel in the 38 car, bringing Carter Friesen and Adam Garcia with him, and Lopes couldn't get to the inside of Jesse Turner before turn 3. Gonna be held up behind him coming off of 4. Stifled his momentum just a little bit. He had to check up. Let's see if Ormond can keep his momentum going. He can. Look at the run he's gonna get. Headed for turn 1. Just like that, what was 2 car lengths now is literally bumper to bumper between the top 2. Ormond, though, got a little tight having to enter that shallow into turn 1, so the gap opens up just a tiny bit again. It's around the point here where we might see some drivers have to hit pit road. Nope, they're all staying out. It's going to be 2 laps to go. Jordan Lopes trying to hang on. Ford got the very first win back in Season 1 with Mitchell Collins. That was a fuel strategy race, if I recall correctly. And it may be a fuel strategy race here as the white flag will be displayed next time around. Nathan Ormond trying to get a run. Teammate up ahead here for Jordan Lopes, the 28 of T Wright. Let's see if he gets out of the way, allowing his teammate to be able to pick up this victory. Ormond's within striking distance, about a car length and a half. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Fuel apparently was not a concern. Lopes trying to get to the inside of his teammate. His teammate not giving him a whole lot of room, pinning him down. That's allowing Ormond to get a run. Nathan Ormond, will he take it 3 wide down here into turn 3? He's there. Oh, is Lopes trying not to give him enough room. Ormond's going to get to the inside. We're going to have a photo finish, possible drag race. Lopes, though, with the advantage on the top side. Half a car length is going to win here tonight, the Banquet 400 at Kansas. And a photo finish to the stripe with Nathan Ormond. The defending champion is back. Jordan Lopes gets his first win of the season and will look to defend his title later on this year if he can remain in the top 30 in the point standings. Boy, that was a nail-biter right there. Nathan Ormond gave it a good shot, but that outside line just had a little too much momentum off of turn 4. Nathan Ormond, I think, had to lift maybe a tiny bit, had to feather the throttle a little bit more there on the inside line with those older tires. And it allowed Jordan Lopes to edge him by half a car length to the start-finish line. Let's take another look at that photo finish. 33 1/1000ths of a second on the ticker. That might be our closest finish of the season. Not 100% certain. I'd have to double back on the statistics to find out. But there it was, at the start-finish line, literally half a car length, almost exact, with Jordan Lopes picking up the victory. We finally have another first-time winner this season, and the Fords continue their dominance here this year as well. Ormond will finish in second. This will put him up inside the top 10 in points, though. Garcia, last week's winner, will finish in third. Cody Lamas and Carter Friesen completing the top 5. How about Justin Dearborn, non-charter driver, had to work his way from outside the top 35 to finish in 6th. 7th for Vince Almariego. Zach Rogers, great run for him. His momentum seems to be picking up the right direction now. J Millz in 9th. And Adam Samso, another non-charter driver, will finish in 10th. Then it was Carson Gum, Matthew Rodriguez, Laura Chung, Mitchell Collins, and Ryan Brommer, the top 15. So we had 3 non-charter drivers finishing the top 15 here today. J Qualls, Jacob Thibodeaux, Polster Charles Belding, with Phil Parker and Michael Norman back there, completing the top 20. Michael Norman really faded back late in this one. Rest of the finishing results here is we saw Levi McIntyre up at the front. He faded back. Austin LaPlante was up in the top 10. He faded back. A lot of this could be attributed to what might have happened on pit road as well. Cole Deaver, 2-time winner. Not the run he was looking for today. Last car in the lead lap in 37th. T Wright, 2-time winner, finished a lap down in 38th. Another 2-time winner, Jesse Turner, 2 laps down in 39th. Cole Baker, 2 laps down in 40th. And then Matt Haas and Benny Watson never even made it past the second lap, as they were involved in the only caution here today, 41st and 42nd for those 2 drivers. Taking a look here to see about the potential battle for the points lead. I don't think there was one. Garcia finishing third. I believe will keep the points lead heading into Chicago Motor Speedway next week. Trying to get those extra 10 bonus points for regular season champion. Yeah, that's on the line too. Garcia knows it. Wants to break that tie for the number 1 seed as there's a number of other multi-time winners amongst himself. But that's going to do it here tonight. How about Jordan Lopez? Needed that win to be able to make sure he was going to defend his championship from Season 3. He gets it here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. So Ford gets their second win of the venue here at Kansas. They now take the lead for most wins for a manufacturer at the Kansas Speedway over Chevrolet and Dodge. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race here from Kansas. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results and these are what the point standings look like heading into next week. We're going short track racing. It's going to be another mile track, Chicago Motor Speedway. Kind of like a little super speedway to me. Always a lot of fun to go there. Been a great venue and who knows, might have a surprise winner go to victory lane in that one. We'll see you guys next week though from Chicago Motor Speedway. I've been Seth Cole and you've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its best.